G'day traders, we're going to wrap up of Tuesday the 22nd of May. So here's the candle here that we're talking about. So it's a day that came after we got this bounce. So remembering this bounce which came on Monday, it was a day that we were expecting to come sooner rather than later, because we're getting this very extended trend and we're starting to hit a bit of support over here on 3-month sort of support areas, and then we've got this bounce. Okay, what happens with this bounce? I want to point out, this was a day where it was all one direction on the buy side. So what normally happens when you get a real change in the markets, like this is a change where you're breaking significant area or something significant's happening in the market. So breaking support, resistance areas, ones that have held for a while, or getting a bounce like this. They're the type of days where you could possibly get one direction. It just tends to move that way because it's a fresh kind of area and they'll just go on with it. As far as this second day here, or the Tuesday we're talking about, definitely expected buyers and thought that possibly they could win the day, even though the sellers got in there in the afternoon. But definitely expected some sort of buyers at some stage, and it could go up to something like 13.30 before the sellers really tried to take back control. But it's not going to be a day where it's all buyers like the previous day. This is the second day in the bounce, so at some stage there was going to be sellers coming into this market. So let's have a look here. So what happened? So we started off with quite a sideways on the 5-minute chart, sideways start today. Then we got this uptrend, and here come the buyers again as far as this bounce is concerned. We got up here and started to pull back. So this pullback on the 5-minute, the first pullback of the trend has worked. So I've recorded that there. It goes down as a win. Not with the dailies, but as far as the area just is, there's 10 in the last 10 days, 5 have worked. Okay, an interesting thing about this, it came after 2 previous fails. So what I'm doing is looking at some patterns, and what I found, if you get 2 fail in a row, this market's due to hold a trend and push higher. So Friday failed, Monday failed. So third day after 2 fails, looking for that to work. And out of the last 10 times since I've been recording it twice, that situation happened where we had 2 losses, and the third day it does win. So something I'll keep an eye on and let you guys know about. From there we topped out and started to push down, and significantly pushed down. We pull back here to this area here. So this goes up down as a 5-minute fade. Okay, so the thing about this area here, 5-minute fades, the way I look at them, I see them as a real momentum trade. So something like a 5-minute fade, what you want to see is maybe happen more after this candle here, happen very much earlier on in the trend, get a quick pullback and then a continuation. Something like this, it's pushing a lot lower. I call this, there's a trade I got called a true fade. This is more like a true fade setup, even though it's saying 5-minute fade. It's more of a true fade. When you see an extension of a trend like that and it pops up, it's very likely to get a bit more of a bounce and push through the area. What you want to see is the trend get a continuation and break significant areas like swing lows, swing highs, and you can see nothing's broken. It's in the middle of like kind of no man's land. So something like this, it's got a high chance of popping up higher. So I really didn't like this signal, but that's a bit of a breakdown as to kind of how to read the 2 different areas. From there we got this 5-minute sell here. So this one here, I didn't mind it. I actually liked it end of this candle here. I thought down here a little bit extended, likely to get a little bit of a bounce, but so when it take it from this area here, it did get stopped out. If you had just absorbed a bit of this bounce from this extended candle, it would have worked quite well. So a bit of a tricky one, but certainly the area work. Just depends on where you enter as to whether it got stopped out or not. And then again another 5-minute sell coming up here. So this is the second pullback of the same trend. It's still hanging around in the same area, but when you look at the other markets, a lot of them were breaking down low, and it certainly had some momentum on the downside. And again, I think that there was no reason that the trade could not work, but at the same time, I guess you could say it is 50-50 just because it's within this tight range that was bouncing. So I get reason to take it and reason not to take it. In the end, it's had a bit of a bounce, and then we got this real significant push down where it's broken down. I thought this market was going to the lows. Once it started breaking, it got there and just kept on going, and from there we had a bit of a bounce, but you can see definitely the sellers controlled the day. Going over to the 1-minute chart, here's this bit of a sideways period. We eventually got this uptrend. We've hit this yellow. I think coming back and hitting a power point right here and kind of lining up this support here would have been a lot better area to take and had a high chance of working. By then it's come over here, and it's I guess this is where the other markets at this stage were starting to push down. So, I mean, this is the first pullback after a 10-point trend. So just recording it as is, as far as the automated system's concerned, just recording that information, it goes down as a loss. So I'll put it down there, one loss, and that's actually 6 from 11 now. So still above 50%, but 6 from 11. But looking at it as an individual area, like I said, over here, high potential. Over here, all the other markets are really starting to race on the downside, and it had a lot of momentum starting to push down, and certainly didn't like the area coming up there. From there, we pushed down quite quickly to this one here. So this is what we call the sniper pullback. So where you look at a yellow and take the second pullback. Okay, so I also record that. So there we go, second power point after yellow. So that's lost today as well. So far it's 1 from 3. So not performing real well at the moment, but typically this one tends to be working more than 50%, 60+%, and it's not a bad area to look at. Again, there was a lot of momentum on the downside. However, the thing I thought about this was it was coming down. It was due for some sort of bounce, and I thought the bounce could come around here. You can see it's come to the next power point before bouncing. So again, I guess a 50-50 area. A lot of momentum on the downside, but certainly due for a bounce. A reason to take it or not take it, really, both ways. From here, this is where we've hit this real sideways range. So you can see top, bottom before breaking out of it. Okay, so very much a sideways period there, which we've kind of been having in the afternoons lately. Monday was very much the same situation, but then we got this break out of range, and from there the sellers really got that momentum. They went down, and once they started breaking, very likely that's going to head down to 13.16, which is the low of the day, which wasn't far up. 13.16, sorry, not 13.16, 13.14, 13.13 area. So down around here, which it got to, and then pushed even further, and they got that bounce to finish off the day. So the sellers well and truly came back and stamped their authority on these markets, back in line with the dailies. So that's a wrap up for Tuesday. Sorry, I forgot to mention too, Monday there wasn't actually a wrap up on the blog, but I have included the information from that. So on that particular day there was the 5-minute the 5-minute pullback which failed. So I've included that. So overall it's now 6 from 11. So I included the loss and the winner from today. And also yesterday there was a purple which failed as well. So because we're taking the purple, sorry, the 10-point trend, take a pullback PowerPoint, which happened to be the purple, taking it one tick early based on recording this information here. And based on that, it actually would have been stopped out. It went 7 ticks and then came back and stopped out. So I've included that as well. So including the yesterday, including today, it's now 6 from 11 and 1 from 3 for the second power point after yellow. So this information is all up to date, and that brings us up to Tuesday, and I'll speak to you guys Wednesday.